Why your cat stares at the wall for no reason. Anyone who has lived with a cat has experienced that quietly unsettling moment. You glance over and find your feline companion sitting completely still, eyes locked onto a perfectly blank stretch of wall, utterly transfixed by absolutely nothing. No spider, no shadow, no discernible movement of any kind. Just the wall, and your cat, staring at it with the focused intensity of a philosopher contemplating the void. It is one of the most reliably mysterious behaviors in the domestic cat's repertoire, and it raises a genuinely interesting question. What exactly is going on? The most straightforward explanation lies in the extraordinary sensory capabilities that cats possess. A cat's hearing is among the most sensitive of any domestic animal, capable of detecting frequencies ranging from 48 Hz all the way up to 85,000 Hz, far beyond the upper limit of human hearing, which tops out at roughly 20,000 Hz. What this means in practical terms is that your cat may be listening intently to sounds that are entirely inaudible to you. The faint scratching of a mouse or insect moving inside the wall cavity, the distant hum of pipes settling, the barely there rustle of something stirring behind the drywall. All of these register clearly in a cat's auditory world while remaining completely silent to human ears. When your cat stares at the wall, there is a very real possibility that it is tracking prey it can hear but not yet see. Its predatory instincts fully engaged by a sound you will never notice. Vision plays a complementary role in this behavior as well. Cats are exquisitely sensitive to motion, particularly in low-light conditions. Their eyes contain a high concentration of rod cells and a reflective layer behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum, which amplifies available light and makes them remarkably effective hunters at dawn and dusk. This sensitivity, however, also means that cats can detect the faintest visual disturbances. A tiny shadow shifting as a bug crawls on the other side of the wall. The subtle flicker of light from a passing car, briefly playing across the surface. Or even the minute vibrations that a structure makes as air moves through it. These micro-movements are beneath the threshold of human perception, but fall well within the range of what a cat's visual system can register and respond to. To the cat, the wall is not blank at all. It is a canvas of subtle, flickering signals worth investigating. Beyond the sensory, there is a neurological dimension worth considering. Cats, particularly younger ones, sometimes exhibit a behavior called feline hyperesthesia syndrome, a condition involving periods of intense sensory sensitivity, involuntary twitching, and seemingly unprovoked staring. While true hyperesthesia is relatively rare and often accompanied by other symptoms, it underscores the fact that a cat's nervous system can generate internal perceptual experiences that have no external correlate visible to us. In other words, what looks like staring at nothing may sometimes reflect internal neurological activity rather than a response to any real external stimulus. This does not mean the cat is hallucinating in a distressing sense. It simply means that its brain is processing information in ways we cannot observe from the outside. There is also the dimension of smell. Cats possess approximately 200 million odor-sensitive cells in their nasal passages, compared to a human's roughly 5 million. A wall is rarely just a wall to an animal with this level of olfactory resolution. Traces of animals that passed through the space weeks ago, chemical signals embedded in paint or wood, the residual scent of moisture or mold invisible to the eye. All of these constitute a rich informational landscape that a cat can read simply by standing close and attending carefully. What appears to be a blank stare may actually be a cat processing a complex olfactory narrative layered into an apparently featureless surface. Of course, not every instance of wall staring needs a dramatic explanation. Cats are also simply creatures of contemplation. They spend a significant portion of their waking lives in a state of relaxed alertness, not quite sleeping, not actively hunting, but resting in a quiet readiness that looks, to human eyes, like spacing out. A cat staring at a wall may be doing nothing more than existing in that low arousal state, its gaze resting on a neutral surface the way a human might stare absently out a window without focusing on anything in particular. Cats do not require stimulation every moment of every hour, and what reads as mysterious fixation may simply be a form of feline meditation. What makes this behavior feel so uncanny to us is largely a matter of perspective. Humans are a species that communicates meaning through facial expression and eye contact, and we instinctively read a fixed, unblinking stare as deliberate and intentional. When directed at an empty wall, that intensity feels eerie because we cannot supply the object of attention that would make sense of it. We are essentially encountering the limits of our own perceptual world. A reminder that the space we share with our cats is, in many ways, a fundamentally different environment for them than it is for us. The wall-staring cat is not broken, not haunted, and not losing its mind. It is, in all likelihood, simply an extraordinarily capable sensory organism doing what it was built to do, attending carefully to a world that is far richer, louder, and more textured than human senses can access. The next time your cat locks its gaze onto what appears to be nothing, it might be worth resisting the urge to shrug it off as quirky behavior. That quiet, still, unblinking focus is a glimpse into a perceptual universe running parallel to your own, one that your cat navigates with effortless fluency, even as you remain entirely unaware of what it contains.